Okay, we're going to quickly jump into this. It's how to get Choozle data on a daily basis into Google Sheets. I'm going to show you guys how to do that, and then I'm also going to show you a couple of applications that I've chosen to personally do for our clients. Obviously, you're going to have your own use cases, but we're going to run through it from start to finish. The first step is to get a user added in with API-only access to your Choozle account. Once you've done that, send a request over to your account manager via email and ask them for the API key. They'll send it to you. That can be used in Report Garden, which is what I've chosen as my daily report software. And you can add the account with the new API key you've been granted. Then it will let you create templates. So I have created a reporting template under templates that looks at two different things. So it looks at the current month, and then it looks at the last month. Same metrics for each. We can choose whatever metrics we want. I've chosen to do cost conversions, cost per conversion, and clicks, but you could add impressions, CPM, click-through rate, whatever it is that you want. Once this template's made, you can set up a scheduled report, and these settings are really important. So if you want it to be exactly like I've done by the end of this video, make sure you look at these. I'm going to zoom in. So name it, choose daily, make sure it contains the date range. You can have it serve whatever day or whatever hour of the day you want. I just do it at midnight. I ask for an Excel format. That's super important to choose this option. The next is to select your template. So whatever you named the template in this step, make sure you select that, find the account, and you're done. So send it to your email address and send it from an email address that's easy for you to pull from. You can name it something so that it matches the client that it's getting it from. Hit schedule. After that's finished, just do a really quick send so that your report garden actually sends out the email with an attachment of an Excel sheet. So once it has sent the email, I create a little filter in my Gmail account so that it goes into a specific labeled folder. That's important for me because when I build my Zapier integration, I tell them to look for an email with an Excel sheet attached coming to Gmail with a specific subject line and tag labeling it. So you just want to make sure that you set that up in your settings as a filter. It's pretty easy. Once you get the email, just open it up and choose filter messages like this, and it'll basically give you some simple stuff that they think could filter it out, and just hit save. Once that's done, they'll always come into this folder, and the Zapier account will always get it. This is what it's going to look like when you send it from Report Garden. It'll hit your email with this subject line. It'll have the attachment. It's going to look like this. There's going to be basically two tabs, one for this month and one for last month. You see the two tabs down here. But it's pretty simple. Inside of Zapier, now that we have all these pieces in place, what we're going to do is we're going to set up the Gmail trigger first, choose Gmail, and then change the trigger to new attachment. Choose your account. This is just your Gmail. And then set it up so it finds the label that you've created. Right here. I created this one earlier. You can create labels pretty easily in Gmail just by clicking create new label, and then again you apply that filter so it applies the label automatically for you. Tell it to look for that label and then tell it to search for the subject line, which in this case is Giraffe Choozle app integration. So I just make it copy it exactly. You could even just copy paste it, that way you don't make any mistakes and it always gets it. Okay, hit continue. It's then going to fetch the data. Let's load. It should have one from a minute ago. And I'm just going to double check that this is the right one. It looks like this is the right one from subject. Yes, that's it. Okay, hit continue. After that, what we're going to do is we got to get it into Google Drive. Once we get it into Google Drive, it's going to create a Google Sheets account for us. So choose your app, Google Drive, then choose replace file. After you've done this, go into Google Drive and just create a sample spreadsheet. Just any sample spreadsheet. Name it whatever you want. Copy the name, and what you're then going to do is choose that account and then type in the name of the file. So you're just going to paste it in and it's going to find it. So let me copy this and let me get over here and paste, select it. And what it's going to do now is every time it gets this email, it's going to take the attachment here and it's going to use it to replace this file and convert it into a Google Sheets document. This will all be totally automatic, okay? So if I were to just remove all the data on this, just for the purposes of this test, technically, what should happen is it should just replace these empty cells every single morning with the data that I'm sending it. So we're going to test. We're going to retest, send the data over, and it should hopefully work out. Once it gets sent, we're just going to jump over to Sheets once it says it's done, and we're going to see if it pasted it in. All right, so it's there, and here it is. So it's showing all the data as it's supposed to, and what you're seeing here is zeros, and that's because I haven't launched the campaign yet, which is fine. That's the accurate data. There actually is no data because I just created this account, but when the account goes live, you will see numbers here instead of blanks. But this has worked. The integration's there now, and it's working perfectly fine. So you have one report that's always going to update with what has currently spent this month, and it's just going to add on every single day of the month. And then you have one that's just a total of last month. So these numbers won't change every day. These numbers will change every day. And the reason I want that is where we get into the second segment of this video, which is the application. So this data, having this data isn't helpful unless you're going to apply it somehow. I'm choosing to apply it in my app because I've made a custom report tracker tool. So or budget tracking tool inside of my app, you can sort for the programmatic data. And I have this app integrated with Google Sheets. And what it does is every morning at midnight, it just crawls it, and then it finds out how much was spent this month, compares it to the budget that I've given these accounts, and gives me a percentage. And it says you're at 89% of your budget. You spent $238 out of $267. You're projected to spend almost $1,800, which is about $200 less than the current month's budget. So simple mathematical numbers, and then I've got a little bar that shows the number, or that shows your percentage. And this is just math, you know? So I've applied these raw data numbers with an application that I've created to apply more sophisticated formulas and actually turn this into a nice little tool for my clients. My clients can log in and then they can see what percentage all their accounts are at really easily to know if they're overspending like this account or if they're underspending like this account, and we can make changes accordingly. And it updates every morning. So as the month goes on, you don't have to jump into your accounts every single day and figure out where you're at. So this is the application of why I wanted it. And then the other application that I've done is really just a simple report garden report that sends to the client, and it just shows the last 7 days data. So we're taking basically the Choozle integration that we built, and then we're sending a report on Monday morning to our clients. And instead of doing an Excel sheet, it's a PDF. And instead of showing the total spend this month, it just shows the last 7 days. I'll show you an example of one of those reports. It's nothing crazy cool, but it's at least, I think, helpful to see the different applications. Once you can get Choozle into Excel or into Sheets, and then once you can get it into Report Garden, it can be a really good tool. Let's do this one. So we've got this report, and we just send it to our client every single Monday, and it has simple programmatic ad performance numbers, and this is all from Choozle. So I show them how many sessions they had from Choozle ads, how many goal completions they had, and what the goal conversion rate was. You know, you can do whatever you want. You can do high-level review like I've done here, or you can do individual line items. Cool? This is a pretty simple integration when it comes to building it yourself because you don't need a programmer, but it's not that easy because there are a lot of different softwares involved. So you might have to watch the video a couple times and write to me if you have questions or if you get stuck. But if you have a custom application that's not the one I'm using it for, let me know and we might be able to help you figure out a way to get it to work. But getting the data into Excel is the most important step.